Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan and welcome to, I guess, a bonus stream. I'm kind of getting into the habit of this a little bit, but I do like it on a Friday. When we get a Friday deadline, it's quite nice to try and squeeze in an extra stream in the morning. So 2 streams today. This is not the deadline stream. It is not the deadline stream. The deadline stream is still coming later. That'll be at, 5:30 UK time. So yeah, that's still to come. But for now, I just thought, I've not really spoken too much about my chip strategy. I've spoken a lot about chip strategies and stuff kind of on Twitter a little bit. But on this actual YouTube channel, I haven't really spoken about my own personal chip strategy for like probably at least a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And obviously things have changed, fixtures have changed and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go through with you guys. I've made up some, a graphic that I think is going to be really useful for you guys. So I'll share that with you obviously on social media as well. But yeah, I want to talk through some fixtures, and I've made an image. We're gonna annotate it and stuff as we go through. First of all, did just want to say this was the final score for the game week, because obviously the final game was yesterday. So 128 points. Triple captain played. Triple captain went very well. Everything else didn't go so well. Well, Robertson, Son, they were okay, but yeah, I mean, not the most mind-blowingly amazing game week. But the triple captain pretty much bailed me out. So I'm happy with that. And yeah, on later stream, the stream I'll be doing later, maybe I'll talk a little bit more about my actual transfers for the game week. Maybe touch on this at the end of this stream. But anyway, without further ado, guys, let me reveal to you this graphic that I've kind of made this morning, if I can find it in my layers. There we go. Right, here we go. So here we have it, guys. This is the up-to-date fixture planner thing that I like to make. I really like these images because they are really helpful. I find them so useful to just try and figure out the lay of the land. I know there are other fixture planners out there, but I don't know. I like to keep things really simple and, make a nice simple graphic for reference rather than, you see some complicated ones that are really, really useful, obviously, and give you the whole picture. But sometimes you just want to have a quick scan through, get the very basic lay of the land kind of thing. So what you'll notice that is slightly different on this graphic compared to the ones I've made before is I've included some question mark fixtures where I'm kind of speculating a little bit. These are non-confirmed fixtures. So basically, well, I'll just go through it with you now, guys. I may as well. So, let's just... Oh, actually, I shouldn't change that. Does that still... No, I have messed this up massively. Okay, let's just forget that for now and move that back like that. Okay. So I can't actually see the chat right now, so excuse me, guys, if you are talking around, but I can't see the chat. But anyway, right. So, guys, basically, you'll see these fixtures here on game week 28. So these are unconfirmed fixtures. Because there's nothing. Well, there's no suggestion from the Premier League that these fixtures are going to go ahead. It's just Arsenal versus Chelsea. But basically, there is a free midweek slot in game week 28 for Arsenal and Chelsea to be rescheduled, and that very well might happen. There's a good reasons with teams progressing in cups and fixtures being overloaded kind of later on in the season. We've still got loads of teams in Europe, loads of teams looking to go further in the FA Cup as well. Later on in the season, things are going to get a little bit congested. So some of the unscheduled fixtures, and there's still quite a lot of unscheduled fixtures left over from COVID days from the past. Lots of fixtures that were cancelled, postponed. They need to go in. And one that is looking pretty likely to go in is Chelsea versus Arsenal in the midweek slot in game week 28. Now, I think also we could potentially have Chelsea versus, who is it? I think maybe Chelsea versus Norwich, I think that's another possibility. So there could be a double game week there. But I think the most likely one we're going to see is Chelsea versus Arsenal being slotted into game week 28. And hopefully we should know about this soonish, before the game week 28 deadline, you would hope, at least. So hopefully we'll find out more about that over the weekend. But, depending on how much notice they want to give, like a week's notice is, pretty standard. It could be announced as late as kind of Tuesday. And I can't remember what date Tuesday is, but we might find out that about Tuesday. If it kind of gets to Wednesday, Thursday, then, perhaps we might not know about it. But anyway, what that would leave us would be a pretty big double game week, because that would make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams with double game weeks. So 4 double game week fixtures, making 8 teams with double game weeks. And that is going to be pretty big. So that's this is chip territory. If this Arsenal and Chelsea game goes ahead, this is chip territory. This is where we genuinely would want to think about bench boosts, free hits, wild cards, whatever you've got. Maybe use it to your advantage to try and get in on this one. So, it's real possibility there. Paul in the chat says, Ben Krellin says, if it's not announced tonight, it probably won't happen. Joseph Green says won't happen because of television rights. Well, actually, that's kind of not true about the television rights thing, because this Arsenal versus Liverpool game. So maybe I should change color. Let's change to like, I don't know. Let's change to like a light blue color. So this Liverpool game versus Arsenal, that is also technically a Champions League clash. So because there's been a precedent set here already. Because of game week 29, there's been a precedent set with a Champions League clash. There's no reason why this one can't happen as well, right? So I don't think that's a consideration. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. This is why I've put it in, very grayed out, because I don't want to say this is going to happen. I'm just saying it is a real possibility. And I just, it's always good to be aware of the possibilities, because these kind of possibilities, guys, are the ones where, your mates in your mini league, who don't engage too much with FPL Twitter, who don't engage too much with, FPL content, podcasts, videos, stuff like that, those mates of yours won't know about this. They will not have a clue about the potential for this fixture. So I just wanted to put it out there. It is a real possibility. And if it happens, this game week 28 is going to be a big one, a good one. And we'll talk about kind of chip strategies, once we get the lay of the land, right? So let's go for game week 29. So that game week, we've got a few double game weeks in game week 29, but if you really kind of look at them, they're not amazing. Certainly game week 28, the double game week fixtures look quite nice. These ones, they're not really ones I'd want to break my back over. So Arsenal obviously got Leicester, which is a really good fixture, but then Liverpool is the other one. Brighton is not very good. Liverpool and Spurs, not very good there, is it? Everton, it looks okay, but again, Everton, are we trusting Everton right now? I don't know if we are, even in a double game week. I'm sure there'll be lots of single game week teams and players that will outscore the Everton players, right? Liverpool, Brighton away, Arsenal away. All right, we are obviously going to captain a Liverpool player, don't get me wrong, and we know Liverpool can do the business against these teams, but it's nothing like the game week 26 double that Liverpool had. It's nothing like that. Newcastle, Chelsea and Everton, not really amazing. The Chelsea game, Everton's not so bad though. And then Spurs, Man United away, Brighton away. I don't know, it's a tough one. So this game week 29, whereas I was saying kind of game week 28, that's chip territory. Game week 29, okay, it'd be nice to have some doubling players, particularly Liverpool. Tripling up on Liverpool is a good idea. Maybe get at least one of Son or Kane for that Spurs double. Arsenal players, nice to have. If you've got a Ramsdale, that's nice. If you've got, maybe a Saka, could be pretty nice as well. But these are kind of players that we already kind of likely to have, right? We're already going to be tripled up on Liverpool. We're already going to have one or two Arsenal players. We're already going to have maybe one Spurs player, right? So the other ones are not really worth thinking about too much. Brighton, we're not really bothered about that one. Everton, we're not bothered about that one. And Newcastle, probably not bothered about that one either. So this one, probably not going to need major surgery. You're not going to need 2 major surgery for game week 29. I don't think you need to worry about it too much. Just kind of go with what you've got. Now, game week 30, I know a lot of you guys will know about this already. I've kind of spoken about it a lot on this channel, and you guys will know from everyone else's channel and Twitter and everything else. But game week 30 is a real interesting one, because there is the potential for us to only have, well, as things stand, we have just 3 games, 3 fixtures, which means just 6 teams. So these 6 teams will be the only teams that will be playing as things stand. Now, the other fixtures, although they are technically, they're technically in the schedule right now, the other fixtures are doubtful. Some more doubtful than others, but they're doubtful. So basically, in very, very broad terms, it depends on the FA Cup. So if a team goes through in the FA Cup, then that means their fixture is going to be cancelled because this game week 30 clashes with the FA Cup. So obviously we're going to get FA Cup games, soon, over the next week or whatever. Well, certainly before game week 28 deadline, they'll all be complete. What we're going to basically find out is who goes through and who doesn't. So if Man City, for example, win their FA Cup game, and I can't remember who they have now, but it's a really easy game, isn't it? I can't remember. Well, someone in the chat can remind me who Man City have in the FA Cup. But if they win, that means that the following round of the FA Cup will take place in this slot which game week 30 occupies. So that means, oh no, if we're through in the FA Cup, we can't play in game week 30 because we've got to play there instead. So that means Man City's game against Brighton is cancelled. So there'll be no fixture there. And the same thing with every other fixture. Whoever's in the FA Cup still, if they go through, their fixture will get cancelled. It's Peterborough. Thank you guys. So yes, if Man City beat Peterborough, that means the game week 30 fixture between Brighton and Man City, gone. Oliver, thank you for the super chat. I'm going to go through super chats at the end just because I want to just want to make sure I've got I want to focus on the strategy stuff first, and then I'll answer some of the super chats if we get any. I'll answer them at the end. But thank you very much. I do appreciate that, and do stay tuned. I'm not ignoring you. So there we go. Same with every single situation. Chelsea go through. That means Chelsea still in the FA Cup? No, they're not. Wait, yes, they are. Chelsea in the FA Cup? I need to Google this. I need to remind myself who actually still is in the FA Cup. I don't have it written down. I probably should have written who is playing who, to be honest. But I didn't. Okay, so Chelsea play against... Actually, I have it written down on my phone. What am I talking about? Because otherwise I'm just going to have to go to you guys in the chat every time. Every time I hear about something. Okay, maybe I don't have it written down. Let's just get the FA Cup fixtures up on screen. That'll be easier for everyone. Chelsea play Luton. I did know that. I actually did know that. I don't know why I brain farted on that one. Okay, let's get them up on screen, guys. And then we can just have a look. And we can kind of have a look at the likeliness of teams going through as well, because that is a big consideration. Sorry for being not so prepared, but with it, we're here. We are here. So, can you guys see that? The 5th round of the FA Cup. And this is going to kind of define stuff. So, Man City we expect to beat Peterborough, which means Man City's game against Brighton, very likely to be called off, right? Crystal Palace versus Stoke, maybe that's a little bit closer. We've got Middlesbrough versus Spurs. You expect Spurs to go through. Chelsea, you expect to beat Luton. We'll leave Southampton, West Ham for now because I want to talk about that. Liverpool versus Norwich, you expect Liverpool to go through. Everton, you expect to beat Bournemouth, and who cares about Nottingham Forest versus Huddersfield unless you're a fan of one of those teams because it doesn't impact FPL. But basically, what I'm kind of trying to get at here, guys, is all of these fixtures look like there's a clear winner in each of them, with the exception of Southampton versus West Ham, which is where things do kind of get interesting. So, if right, hang on, let me find it. I'll go back to. I've got too many screens. So we're gonna go back on this. So we could have another fixture, and the Southampton one is key. So, if West Ham beat Southampton, then that brings one more fixture into play, which is Burnley versus Southampton. So, if Southampton get dumped out of the FA Cup, and you would say, what's the odds on that? Southampton versus West Ham, you say West Ham's slight favourite. So, you would say it's more likely for the Southampton versus Burnley game to go ahead than to not go ahead. which leaves us now with 5 fixtures. Oh, wait, 4 fixtures. 4 fixtures, 8 teams, which is a little bit better. But it's still not it's still not a game week where we have a lot of the players that we like. You know, we are missing all of City. We're missing all of Manchester United. We're missing all of Liverpool. We're missing Chelsea. We're missing West Ham. We're missing Spurs. A lot of the players that we do have, are going to be players that don't have fixtures in this game week. So I know people in the chat are saying, this team could beat this team could beat this team. Yeah, I know. Yeah, obviously we don't know who's going to beat who, and we won't find out until the 5th round takes place in a few days' time. Well, how many days is it? Like 4 days away, 5 days away. So yeah, there will be surprises, and there might be another random fixture. So Southampton might beat West Ham, but then again, City might lose to Peterborough, and then suddenly the City game's back on. Hooray! But we can go on and on about the likeliness of which team's going to go through. All we can do is deal with certainties, and the certainties right now are Arsenal, Aston Villa, Leeds, Leicester, Wolves are going to have fixtures. The other teams are very much in the air right now. If we're going to guess, if there was one more fixture, we had to guess who it would be, we would say it is Burnley versus Southampton, if we had to guess. But aside from that, we don't know. And that's part of the game. We don't know for sure. So, with that done, it leaves us into game week 31, which is the next opportunity for a double game week. Now, there are a few teams that still have double game weeks to be rescheduled. I have them written down on my phone. I see I did write this one down, so it's all good. So, if we look through here. So, Wolves, at the bottom there. Wolves have Burnley that they still need to reschedule. So, that technically could go in game week 31 possibly. I mean, the only problem is European games, which will kind of cause problems here, where one might not be able to get a fixture in game week 31 if a team is playing in Europe still. But there's plenty of other teams. We've got Norwich have got to play Leicester, but Leicester I think play in the Conference League in game week 31. So that might not happen. So no Norwich, Leicester there, but no Leicester at all there. But we've got Burnley. We've got a couple of unscheduled games. Burnley have still got Everton and Aston Villa. Maybe that Burnley get a double game week in 31. And you guys can go through the rest on your own terms, I suppose. But basically, there's a few Arsenal versus Spurs maybe there. I don't know. But basically, there's a few other double game weeks that could potentially happen in 31. Bit early to guess, to be honest. A bit early to guess. But there could be double game weeks there, right? So, now let's talk about chips. And there's basically two methods, I think, of dealing with this. One really common method and one slightly more unique method that I'm kind of going for. So the first method is to focus on, this week, go for a free hit. So this week, you basically just say, it's a write-off, we'll pick whatever players we want. Particularly if you're not very well set up for this game week, if you've got a lot of Arsenal players, you've got a lot of Liverpool players, maybe you've got a Chelsea player in there as well, I don't know. But if you've got a lot of Arsenal and Liverpool in particular, this game week is pretty much a write-off for you, and you're probably going to need to free hit, and you can just pick random players. So, free hit here, I'm just going to put FH, I don't know if that is readable, but free hit there, that's really, really viable there. From there, it's kind of up to you. A lot of people are kind of saying, maybe wildcard here. But if you're wildcarding, maybe you don't need a free hit in 27. Maybe you just take like a -8 or something, get your team well set up just for game week 27 only, and then wildcard 28. If you actually like the look of your team for 28, and a lot of people have got, if you've got double Arsenal, if you've got, where are Wolves at the bottom? If you've got a lot of Wolves players left over from game week 26, if you've still got, a Dennis, if you've still got, if you've just brought in or just still got Broja, nice there as well. If you've got Rafinha, then you're potentially pretty well set up for game week 28 already. So you don't need to use any chips there. You can free hit in 27 and go for it in 28. And, you can maybe focus using your transfers to getting a Chelsea player, especially if that double goes ahead, right? That could be pretty nice. And then game week 29, like I say, I don't think I would want to do too much with that one. So, yeah, that's what a lot of people are doing, I think. They are free hitting in 27 because, obviously, the players you want in game week 27 are very different to the players you want in 28. Again, Chelsea as well. Don't want any players from Chelsea this week, but you do next game week. Liverpool, no fixtures. You're going to want them back. You're going to want them back from here, right? So, we could say the same about Arsenal. We can bring that over here. So, yeah, that is why game week 27 is not compatible with 28. You kind of need to free hit one or the others. Now, I'm going to tell you about my strategy, which I don't know if it's the best strategy or not. And then I'll kind of try and answer some questions and stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you about my strategy because I've not said enough about it. And I think it's really good. And it's unique as well. So, I'm pretty well set up for 27. I have one Arsenal player and I have 3 Liverpool players. The one Arsenal player is Ramsdale. So, I filled up my bench and the rest of my players are all playing players. Now, I want Burnley players. So far, I only have one, and it's Cornet, which isn't ideal. In fact, let me just show you my team. I'll just show you my team. That'd be a little bit easier, won't it? So, let me show you my team for this game week. It's looking... Oh, apparently I've got permission denied. Let me just maybe try and log back in again. Oh, no, my team has been hacked. It hasn't really. So this is my team. We are pretty much there. So now if I was to swap out Nori and Watkins for Weghorst and a Burnley defender, for example, that would set me up really nicely for game week 27. And I would have a pretty good team for the game week. So whilst a lot of people are free hitting for this game week, I would actually be not bad set up, to be fair. I'll sacrifice my Wolves players. I can sacrifice my Aston Villa players as well there. Now, this is where things get complicated. Because you guys may have noticed, why would you want to sacrifice Aston Villa players when they've got a double? Why would you want to sacrifice Wolves players when they've got a double? It's crazy, right? This is why I free hit in 28. Which means I can just ignore all of my players who, are doubling next game week. I don't need to worry about, Arsenal having too many Arsenal players. I don't need to worry about, having who else is doubling. I don't need to worry about bringing in Newcastle players or Southampton players or bringing in Wolves players. In fact, I can actually sell these players. I can sell players from these teams. I don't need to worry about next week's double because... If I'm honest, and this is why I like this strategy, a lot of the teams that double in 28 are not really teams I want to load up on long term. Southampton, do I really want more than one Southampton player? Newcastle, do I ever want any Newcastle players? I mean, maybe. Watford, I don't want any of them permanently. Wolves, okay, maybe I don't want one of them permanently, but not really much more than that. Leeds, aside from Rafinha, who are you going to go for? Aston Villa, again, I don't really want more than one player from these teams in the long term. But for these double game weeks, all of these teams, and I'm excluding Arsenal and Chelsea for now, all of these teams have really nice doubles. So I'm going to want them temporarily, but not long term. Which is why the free hit's pretty good. Now, what we actually have after that, because game week 28 is pretty much just written off for me. I don't have to worry about any of that. I can instead focus my transfers on the teams either side of it. So right now, who do I want? I want players from Spurs. Nice fixture now and a double game week in 29. So that's why I bought Son into my team. We've got already Liverpool players who I can just leave them on the bench there. Not worry about the average fixture, in West Ham. We can maybe just go down to maybe one Liverpool player in game week 28. And I've got them back ready for game week 29. Because I know a lot of people will be selling Liverpool players this game week. I can keep them. Not worry too much about 28, and then they'll all be back automatically for 29 when we have the double. So yeah, etc, etc, etc. I just focus on either side. Again, Burnley, I can afford to get extra Burnley players in because I know we've got Brentford on the other side, which is pretty good. And we just basically work like that. So ignoring game week 28 pretty much completely, because I'm going to be revitalising my team. I don't need to worry about getting Southampton, Watford, Wolves players this game week. I can get rid of them. I can get rid of an Ollie Watkins. I can get rid of Ait Nori, who I'm not even particularly impressed by anyway. I'm a little bit worried about his minutes going forward. A few people saying they're not a fan of this strategy. Fair enough. I mean, it completely depends on your team. This strategy suits my team. It might not suit yours. Those of you guys asking for a free hit draft, I already played my free hit. I made my free hit video this week. I made that on Wednesday, so you can go check out the free hit video I made on Wednesday if you like. But anyway, what you're going to notice about this strategy is it does leave me in a little bit of a pickle for game week 30. This is very much a 2 free hit strategy, if I'm honest with you guys. It leaves me in a little bit of a pickle in game week 30, or potentially anyway. Because when we think about the players I'm selling, well, I'll be selling an Aston Villa player who have a fixture against Arsenal. So I basically wipe out that fixture. I'll be selling, Ait Nori, who he has a fixture there, which only leaves me with, pretty much that. That to choose from. Well, I guess I haven't even got any Leicester. So for me personally, I haven't got that either. So for me personally, I would have, an Arsenal player, one Aston Villa player, and that would be it before transfers, obviously. So that would be it. Is that problematic? Yes and no. I mean, potentially, if we've got Southampton versus Burnley, I'll have I'd have 3 Burnley and 1 Southampton to play against them, which would leave me with 6 players total. Is that enough? Maybe. So depending on what the results are in the FA Cup, this may need to be a free hit again. But it's a good free hit because it means I don't have to get a load of players I don't want. We're going to see people who aren't free hitting in game week 30 are going to get they're going to overload on Aston Villa, who are not doing well at the moment. They're going to overload on Brentford, who are not doing well at the moment. They're going to go for maybe overload on Leeds. You see what I mean? We're going to go... I don't mind Wolves, but I wouldn't want too many Wolves players right now. And you're gonna find, if you don't free hit in game week 30, you're gonna have too much Aston Villa, you're gonna have too much Brentford, you're gonna have too much Leeds, and you're gonna have too much Wolves, and you're gonna be stuck with these players for the long term, which I don't really like. And a lot of people are kind of saying, and the biggest thing is about people being put off by a game week 30 free hit, is that it won't be. People are saying it's not going to be a very high scoring game week. No, it's not. You're absolutely right. But you've got to think about for your own team, not about what is the average amount of points, what is the total amount of points, but what is the difference going to be between your team and the free hit team. If you go into game week 30 with, let's be generous and say 6 players before a hit, right? 5 players times 2, 2 points just for playing is 10 points. So on a free hit, if you have 6 players playing normally and you want to use a free hit, we're talking about a 10-point gain at minimum. If you pick the right players, say a player scores on average 4 points, then that's a 20-point gain. And a 20-point gain is actually pretty good for a free hit. Pretty good. And what I like about a game week 30 free hit as well is that you're pretty much guaranteed to outscore your non-free hit team, which isn't always the case. I'm sure some of you guys have been here in the past. I think I've done it maybe a couple of times in the past. But when you use a free hit, and game week 27 is an example. My game week 27 team, if we look at my game week 27 team, it is, well, I mean, imagine Aitnori is like, I don't know, Tarkovsky, and imagine Watkins is Weghorst and Weghorst is captained. It is feasibly possible for this team to outscore the free hitters team. And for free hitters, it is possible for their non-free hit team, unless they are super invested in Arsenal and Liverpool, which some people are, to be fair, it is very possible that their non-free hit team could outscore their free hit team, especially when you have kind of live wires like Digne could randomly pop up with another 12-pointer. You know, Cornet might get fit. Edouard might start Elise. You know, players like that. Bowen might have a really good game week. Players like that are not going to be in free hit teams. De Gea, another player who's not going to be in many free hit teams, could have a worldy game. And these players will suddenly outscore the free hit team. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Obviously, free hit teams are far more likely to outscore a team like mine. I completely understand that. But I'm saying it's possible for, you know, a team like mine to go toe-to-toe with a free hit team. Whereas, in game week 30, if you only have 5 players as standard and you free hit and get to 11 players, you've got 6 times 2 immediately as a head start on what your other team would have scored, right? So that, I hope that makes sense. That is something I quite like about something that I quite like about a free hit 30. I know a lot of people are kind of poo-pooing the idea of a game with 30 free hit, but I think it is viable for those reasons. I'm not saying it's the right answer. I'm not saying it's the right answer. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. You know, I'm not saying my team's going to outscore a free hit team. I'm just saying that it is very feasibly possible. You know, it happens all the time. It happens all the time where people free hit and their non-free hit team outscores their normal team, or at least is closer than they'd hoped for. And you don't get a very much gain. It's maybe a marginal gain. Maybe you get like a 10-point gain or something like that, which you'd be disappointed with. If your free hit team only scores 10 points more than your normal team, you're kind of disappointed by that. And that is something that, you know, that's something that happens. And it's different for different people. You know, if you've got 3 Liverpool, 3 Arsenal in your team, then you're actually kind of in a similar situation to the game week 30 free hit, in the sense that because you will have more players, you're pretty much guaranteed to score more points. So that works. That works. I know a lot of people, I mean, there's so much content talking about free hits 27. I mean, I feel like if you are free hitting in 27, you probably need to have already had the wheels in motion for that plan. But it's good to get ahead, and this is what I like. And what I'm kind of get out here is it's good to know ahead when you're going to free hit. If I know I'm going to free hit, or have a good idea I'm going to free hit in game week 28 and game week 30, there is so much I can take off my mind. I don't need to worry about getting Wolves players for this and this. I don't need to worry about getting, Aston Villa players for this and this. I can pretty much just go with the flow of my transfers and use the free hits to bail myself out. That kind of thing. You know, I don't need to worry about bringing in Leeds players and Leicester players and players I don't really want to get. So that's that. It's just a different thought. You know, this is just a different thought from what's already out there, because I know a lot of people. You know, I think both Andy Let's Talk FPL and FPL Focal, they're both free hit in 27, right? They wildcarded in 26 with the intention to free hit in 27, and I can't remember if those guys have got chips or not. But I think they're both in a situation. Well, certainly Oscar is in a situation where he can't free hit in 30. He's going to have to find some players for 30, which favours, you know, if you're free hitting now in game of 27, you know, that means you can just go for some Wolves players and do the opposite of me. Go for some Wolves players. You've got nice leads there as well. Double and then a fixture in 30. Go for some Aston Villa players, double in 28, you've still got yourself a fixture in 30. That's the other way of doing it. So you go for players who have both doubles in 28 and actually have a fixture in 30. And that works. You know, we can go for some Burnley players on the off chance that this fixture goes ahead as well. Yeah. Of course, guys, we'll find out exactly who does blank and who doesn't blank by the 28 deadline. So we'll have some time. Oscar is rolling now. He's not going to free hit. Oh, okay, right, all right. Well, I met him for the first time at the weekend, and he from the conversations, it sounded like he was going to free hit in 27. I think. Yeah, I think he said he was going to free hit, but maybe I got that wrong. Maybe he's changed his mind. I don't know. Okay, so maybe he's changed his mind. Maybe he's eyeing up. You know what? I was when I met him, I was hyping up the Game Week 28 free hit. I wonder if the Game Week 28 free hit gang has just got a new member, because I really like this for a free hit. I kind of explained why already. I like that for a free hit, but yeah, if you got one free hit, it does make it a little bit more difficult. And if you have got one free hit, you may kind of be forced into buying Aston Villa players. Maybe. I don't know. Do you want to go for some Leeds players? Wolves players, obviously. Because you're going to have to try and cover yourself for Game Week 30. But I've got some super chats. Let's catch up on them, because my laptop is on 10% battery and I forgot to bring the charger upstairs. So yeah, I'll go find that in a minute. But we've got two super chats from Oliver Hatton. First of all, says Rafinha to Kulusevski, considering Rafinha is in poor form. That's kind of up to you. I mean, if we go back to if we have a look at the fixtures, we've got a nice fixture. We've got a nice double game week fixture, because Spurs have been worrying. Leicester versus Aston Villa, double there. You've got a nice fixture against Norwich, and you have one of the few teams that has a fixture in 30. So if you are not planning on using any chips, Leeds players are pretty vital. If you just don't want to use chips throughout this period, or you want to use as few as possible through this period, Leeds players are actually, they're going to be worth their weight in gold, really. As for Spurs, we're good for the next 3 game weeks, because we've got a double and 2 decent fixtures. But that fixture, it's just not going to happen. That's just not, no, it's not going to happen, realistically. I mean, it could, but it won't. So yeah, that's the risky run, and transfers are going to be really precious at the moment. You kind of got to be worried about that. Michael says 2 free hits, triple captain, and a bench boost left. Should I triple captain Weghorst this week? Crazy. I don't think so. I don't think I would triple captain Weghorst this week. I would basically. I mean, I feel like you've got another Salah triple captain opportunity, and it's not as good as the last one. But Salah is probably going to get another decent score that game week. Brighton and Arsenal in 29. So I would still triple captain Salah. I know you obviously missed out the triple captain points in 26. This is the second coming. This is the second opportunity. Stick with the premium players. Stick with the big players. This double game week for Liverpool is not as bad as it looks on paper. Brighton are waning in form. Arsenal are not very good in the big games, typically. So, I mean, what was it? 4-0 last time Liverpool played Arsenal. 4-0 to Liverpool. So that double game week is another good opportunity for a triple captain. So yeah, one to think about. That's perhaps what I would do there. That's when I'd use my triple captain. In terms of free hits, I mean, it's up to you. You can kind of go for a similar thing to me. You can do a free hit 28 and 30. It depends how your team is set up. But it depends, yeah. Where are you most leaning to? Where is your team most harshly leaning? Have you got a lot of Arsenal? Have you got a lot of Liverpool? If so, Game Week 27 might be a write-off for you, and you might need to free hit. But you'll be looking very nice for 29. Have you got a load of... If you've got a load of Aston Villa, you've got a load of Wolves as well. If you've got maybe a Rafinha in your team. If that's the case, if you've got Arsenal as well, if you've got like a double up or triple up on Arsenal, free hit optional in Game Week 27, because obviously they've not got very good fixtures, so free hit optional in 27. But that means you're going to be very good for 30, and you don't need to worry too much about 30. So it depends kind of what your team is set up like. Just kind of scan through. What does your team look good for certain weeks and bad for other weeks? If it looks good either side, and this is the thing, you kind of got to look at either side. If you're really set up for 27, really well set up for 27, kind of like me, but not for 28. But yeah, again, you're good for 29. Actually, let's just use some different colours here. So if your 27 is good, your 29 is good, but your 28 is looking pretty tragic, then that's a very good reason to free hit in 28. You know, if your like 28 is looking good and your 30 is looking good, because that is a good little combo. You know, Arsenal, Aston Villa, you know, potentially Burnley, Wolves players, those players, you know, you could be looking really good for 28 and 30, but that might mean your 27 is not looking good. Arsenal blank. You know, Wolves, not a great fixture, you know, so that kind of thing. So that gives you a good reason to free hit in 27. So kind of try to work out like that. What game weeks look good for you, positive? What game weeks don't look so good? That's all I'm going to say. And yeah, Aruna has just made a really good point in the chat. Guys, also remember you can't use free hit twice in a row. So yeah, if you've got 2 free hits, there has to be a 1 game week, you know, between using your free hits. So if you can go 27 and 29, but you can't go 27 and 28. You can go 27 and 30, but you can't go 28 and 29. So there has to be a gap between your 2 free hits of 1 game week. It's a really important point to remember. And before I go, because my battery is down to 5%, I do just want to make a quick note. Basically saying that any fixture that is removed from 30, so any fixture that's removed from 30 goes into 36. So if Man City, well, basically, if like I'll use an example of Man City again. So if Man City beat Peterborough, this game week obviously can't go ahead in 30. So that fixture will be moved to 36, and 36 will become a double game week for Brighton and Man City. Now, if you go through, and if this happens to all of these guys, you know, every single one, possibility, I'm not saying it's going to happen, there's probably going to be at least one, you know, there will be upsets. But if all of these teams go through, that's going to mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 teams will all have double game weeks in 36. That is pretty incredible. That is a very, very large double game week, and it's going to be a game week because we've got teams like Man City, we've got Liverpool, we've got United, we've got who else we've got in there? West Ham, we've got Spurs, we've got Southampton, we've got so many teams there that you'll have a lot of these players anyway. All of these players that you have anyway will be doubling in 36, which kind of means, do you really need to free hit into that? Potentially not. You're going to have these players anyway. Are you going to, you know, do you need to wildcard into that? You're going to have these players anyway. Do you need to free hit in game week 36? Probably not. You're going to have these players anyway. So that is why I do believe that if you can get a strong squad and pick up players who blank in game week 30, so from, you know, any player that blanks in 30, that has their fixture cancelled in 30, particularly if you're free hitting in 30, jump on those players and set yourself up ready for a 36 bench boost. Get a good squad together of players, all players who blank in 30. You want these players because when it comes to 36, they're all going to double. All of them. It's going to be really, really nice. It's going to be really seriously nice double game week in 36. Or at least it has the potential to be. I mean, if we get loads of upsets, then it changes it, because game week 30 fixtures will come back into play, which means they won't move to 36. I hope that makes sense, guys. But what battery percentage are we on? We're on 3%. We're on 3%. So we can last like another minute. But there we go. That's basically all I wanted to say. There's lots to think about. I know I've not given you, like, you know, I've not spoon-fed you instructions or anything, but I'm sure you guys would prefer it that way. But hopefully this has helped you kind of map things out a little bit. This image that you see in front of you right now, I am going to post on Twitter and Instagram. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, it's at FPL Mate. I'm going to post a picture in both of those places. Feel free to save the photo, take a screenshot, whatever. Take that image, use it as a guide for yourself, make notes on it. Do whatever. As long as it helps you, I'm happy. Yeah, for personal use only. Don't try not to repost it as your own work, if you don't mind. But yeah, if it's helpful to you guys, use the image to the best of your ability. I know I'm going to be using this image as reference a lot. And I will be updating this as well. I'll be updating this and continually updating it and posting it. I'm going to do some more graphics as well on social media. But there we go, guys. That is pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say today. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's what's going on in my mind. That's the lay of the land. Those are the potential strategies that you could use. And hopefully that helps out a little bit, makes things a little bit clearer for you. That was the hope of this video. So yeah, I'm going to call it there, guys. Thank you so much for watching the stream, guys. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, that would be massively appreciated. If you're watching this as a replay, also hi to you guys watching this as a replay. I appreciate you guys watching this too. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already. I've not really got any subscriber targets, but you know, it's always nice. And that's pretty much it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I'll see you again for the 5:30 deadline stream. I'll be back then. But until then, I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.